We all get nostalgic about the 1950s, but it wasn't all fun with nuclear radiation. No, the 50s had a dark side. Racism, homophobia, sexism, all rampant. That's why in 1952, women launched a covert mission known as Operation Best Served Cold. It's no coincidence that food was despicable in the 50s. Think about it. Fluffy mackerel pudding, tuna cherry aspic. This wasn't dinner, it was revenge. Operation BSC ensured that nasty meals were served day in and day out until husbands, they couldn't take it anymore and supported equality, anything, just so they wouldn't have to eat another chilled wiener salad ever again. Well played, ladies. Well played. That's why today we're gonna pay homage to these revolutionary vintage dishes, but replace the bitter with bitchin. First up, chorizo corn dogs with grainy maple mustard. Next, we're making a wild mushroom and duck prosciutto casserole smothered in a sharp cheddar cream sauce. For dessert, a cherry pie inspired by an old-fashioned cocktail. Panos yaps about chorizo.
Ole.
The spice agent reports on orange bitters.
Elvis Presley loved orange bitters. And you know who I love? Elvis Presley.
Hans talks old-school body image.
I never went to school.
I'm Nadia G, and you're watching Bitchin' Kitchen's Mad Menu. It's clever, that. Admit it. Today, we're revamping nasty dishes from the 1950s. The good old days where mom stayed home, dad worked, and the kids, they knew how to take a proper beating, straight up. Now, I obviously didn't grow up in the 50s, but I remember my uncle telling me stories when I was a kid about how he had to walk 47 miles to school in paper sandals, and all I could think was, wow, that mole is huge. I mean, he should really get that thing checked out. What color is it? Brown? Purple? It's opalescent, man. Maybe I should say something. What's that? It just moved. Let's get cooking. We're gonna start by making chorizo corn dogs, inspired by Diner Grub. Oh, and inspired by the 50s being a corny sausage party. We'll start with the batter. In a bowl, add 1 cup of fine cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, some freshly cracked peps. Now crack in 2 eggs. Add 1 cup of beer. Here I got some honey brown. And 3 tablespoons of honey. Mix it up. Here, I got some mildly cured chorizo. Now these suckers are halfway between a raw sausage and a salami. What I'm gonna do is cut them into 3-inch pieces. While I finish these up, here's Panos with more on chorizo.
Thanks, lads. Chorizo is a pork sausage that originated in Spain. It's loaded with paprika, which gives it that sexy red color. In some parts of Mexico, though, they make chorizo verde, a specialty green chorizo, which is full of coriander, tomatillo, jalapenos, and a light touch of you Spanish colonizers. We do it our way. It's delicious. Now, there are 2 kinds of chorizo. The fresh version, which needs to be cooked like a raw sausage, and the cured version, which is sliced and scoffed like salami. Get creative with it. Try using raw chorizo as a flavor base instead of bacon or pancetta, or slice some cured stuff over pizza. You can even put bits in a salad. The point is, do what you want with chorizo. Don't let the Spanish push you around.
Yeah! Thanks, Panos. Now, stab these Spanish sausages with a stick right where it hurts. Dip them in our beer batter. Hear that? Nice and fluffy. And then fry them right away in 350-degree vegetable oil or any oil with a high smoke point for about 3 minutes until golden and cooked through. When we get back, we're gonna finish these corn dogs, make a delicious maple mustard, and scoff. Remember in the 50s, those pointy, furry...
No.
Today on Bitchin' Kitchen, we're going vintage with some 1950s inspired dishes. Now, when we think about the 50s, a couple of things immediately spring to mind. The invention of radial tires, traffic bill 146, the old roll and stop. And of course, Fortran computer language, come on. But television was also invented in the 50s, and with it came ads. Seems like back then there wasn't anything a pair of Wonder Sauna hot pants and a big jar of lardo couldn't fix. It's nice to see that some things never change. Our chorizo dogs are ready, just drain them on a wire rack. For our dipping sauce, we're gonna make a grainy maple mustard, which is a nice twist on honey mustard, and it's so easy to do. Get a bowl, pop in half a cup of grainy mustard. This has a nice texture. Could also use regular mustard. Add a quarter cup of real maple syrup. But only use real maple syrup. If you can't get your hands on it, use honey. I can't stand that fake stuff. Now, imitation maple syrup was created in the 50s, along with the attitude that man could outwit nature. I mean, why use fresh lemons and sugar for lemonade when you could simply add water to a space-age packet of sugar, fructose, citric acid, maltodextrin, natural flavor, absorbic acid, sodium citrate, magnesium oxide, calcium fumarate, soy lecithin, artificial color yellow lake 5, and tocopherol, to preserve freshness. Our sauce is ready to go. Now all that's left to do is destroy it with our face. Oh, wait, it's a 50s episode. Women were proper. Yeah, okay. These corn dogs are amazing. You've got the crispy cornmeal exterior, you taste a bit of the beer and honey, our smoky chorizo, and this tangy sweet mustard sauce. I love corn dogs. Next up, we're making a broccoli, wild mushroom, and duck prosciutto casserole smothered in a cheddar cream sauce. First things first, we're gonna melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a pot on medium heat. Add 2 minced shallots. And this smells amazing already. I could eat it just like this. No, I wouldn't. That would make me a disgusting human being. 1 pound of mixed wild mushrooms. Here I got button mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and a chip in my tooth that makes me whistle when I say mushrooms. We'll cook these for about 10 minutes until the mushrooms are nice and juicy. Perfect. Now, add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and cook for 2 more minutes. The flour mixes in with the butter, creates a bit of a roux, which is gonna make a nice thick sauce for our casserole. Pour in 2 cups of milk, a teaspoon of mustard powder, a pinch of cayenne pepper, and a small pinch of nutmeg. Don't overdo it with the nutmeg. Dominates everything. Nutmeg. What? We all know what that means. It's time for Facts You Wish You Didn't Know. Fabulous 50s edition. Facts! Household disinfectants loaded with ammonia were touted as amazingly effective solutions for feminine hygiene. Fact! In the 1950s, Dr. Walter Freeman performed over 3,600 lobotomies. His most famous patient was a 12-year-old boy named Howard Dully. Dully was lobotomized because, according to his stepmom, he objects to going to bed, does a good deal of daydreaming, and turns the lights on when there's broad daylight outside. Fact! Fact! I wish I didn't mention the lobotomy thing. I'm all depressed now. Ooh, creamy sauce! To it, we're gonna add 1 head of broccoli that's been blanched and cut into small pieces, just the florets. I'm gonna season it with a little bit of sea salt and pepper. And add 1 cup of grated sharp cheddar cheese. Mix it up nice. When we get back, we're gonna finish up this dish and yap about the beat generation. It's like that, right? The beat?
No.
Dee-da. And we're back with Mad Menu. Now, while the 50s was pretty conservative, it also gave way to the beat generation. a counterculture movement which later spawned stinking hippies. Now, William Burroughs was a famous beatnik writer, and one of his claims to fame was the cut-up writing technique, where you mash words and phrases to create new, artsier sentences, which make no sense. If you ever had to pretend you found naked lunch all deep, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, I'm gonna deliver the next bit of food info in cut-up style. Spare you the pain of having to read naked lunch. Ready? Okay. Duck prosciutto casserole, slap. Butter everything beautiful, bowl, take this. We're not done yet. Panko, mix it over the dice. Our casserole is breadcrumbs now. Nickelback sucks. Our casserole is almost done. Here I've got a casserole dish that's been greased with some unsalted butter. What we're gonna do is slap in our creamy, cheesy wild mushroom and broccoli mixture. I got a cup of panko breadcrumbs, add 2 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter, and mix it up. And add a nice, crunchy texture to the top of our casserole. Sprinkle it. Ah, this looks beautiful, but we're not done yet. Get your hands on some awesome duck prosciutto and place it on top. I love duck prosciutto. Sweet, salty, just a little bit gamey. See, I like to mix it up instead of using the same pork prosciutto all the time. As the old Italian saying goes, versatile is the man who can murder a variety of animals and digest their carved flesh. Bake at 350 degrees for 20-30 minutes until it's all bubbly and golden brown. While this bakes, here's Hans with more on the evolution of body image.
Miss G, our vision for the ideal body has changed dramatically over the years. 20 years ago, models were just 8% lighter than the average person. Today, models are a staggering 20% lighter. Hans is here to set things straight. Well, straight-ish. Focus on being healthy, not perfect. Grab an apple instead of a candy bar, but get up there and ride. Your bike. At the end of the day, don't let unrealistic beauty standards make you hate yourself. You just need to hate me for looking so damn fine.
Thanks, Hans. Let's plate this dish. Oh, this smells so good. I can't wait. Now here I've got some tri-colored fusilli pasta that I've boiled al dente. I'm gonna slap this on a plate and top it off with our casserole goodness. Steal a few of these crispy duck pieces. Wow, earthy, juicy mushrooms. You got the tender broccoli smothered in our creamy cheddar sauce. More for me. Look at this, I'm so jealous. Ah, and this duck prosciutto, all crispy and salty. This dish is the big dance! Dessert is up next, and man, am I excited about this one. We're gonna be making a cherry pie based on a 1950s classic cocktail called an Old Fashioned. This is made with bourbon, cherries, orange zest, and just a wee bit of hipster who likes to have postmodern fun with an ironic vintage feel. Let's do it. We'll start with the pie filling. In a saucepan, throw in 4 cups of pitted tart cherries. Now these are frozen, but if you can find fresh, good for you. You must love living in such a warm, hospitable climate. Add half a cup of raw sugar, the juice of 1 lemon, and 2 tablespoons of tapioca. You want to simmer this for about 5 minutes on medium heat. When we get back, we're gonna finish up this cherry pie and the spice agent is gonna report on orange bitters. Stay bitchin'. Oh man, I had the best. So strange. It's like they were frozen in time. Hey, welcome back to Bitchin' Kitchen's Mad Menu. Now, lots of people have fantasies about living in a past era. It's so common, in fact, that there's a psychological term for this mindset. It's called being a twit. ultimately, this kind of fantasy is just masking laziness, which in turn is actually masking a fear of failure. What could you have possibly done back then that you can't do now? Want to wear a fluffy skirt and go swing dancing? Go for it. Want to ride around in a yellow hot rod with flames? Don't do it, man. Everybody knows that just announces that you have a small seating area in the hot rod. It gets claustrophobic. Look at our gorgeous sweet tart cherry filling. Now that you've looked at it, scaff it into a bowl. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of natural almond extract, a splash of bourbon, about 2 tablespoons, and 1 teaspoon of orange bitters. Mix it up, and then pop it into the fridge for about an hour to cool. While I do that, here's the spice agent with his orange bitter report.
Thank you, Nadia. Orange bitters is a cocktail flavoring made from the peels of Seville oranges, cardamom, caraway seeds, coriander, and burnt sugar in an alcohol base. And from what I understand, it's very difficult to find orange bitters, or a job, but that's another story. So a lot of cocktails that were using orange bitters simply removed it from the ingredient list, like I simply removed myself from the workforce. Like I said, it has been making a comeback in recent years, and now you could find them here and there. Not really here, mostly there where you are. You see, that's the difference between here and America. You guys like bringing things back, but for us, we have a hard time getting rid of them. For you guys, 50s gave birth to rock and roll, Elvis Presley, to the In-N-Out burger. As for us, Love Me Tender made the top 10 pop charts last week in September. What can I say? We're a little slow. But I love Elvis. You ain't nothing but...
Thanks,
יחזקאל מזרחי.
Our filling is cooled, it's time to make our crust. Here I've got some store-bought pie dough. Now, sure you can make your own, but sometimes I like to cheat a little. My exes can vouch for that. I've cut the dough into 2 discs that fit my pie mold. Just make sure you make one of them slightly larger than the other. This way it can go up the sides. I'm gonna take the bigger disc and scaff it in. On the second disc, this is gonna be the top of the pie. We're gonna make a couple incisions so the steam from the filling can escape and the pie doesn't explode. Now I'm gonna get fancy and make a cute little cherry design from the leftover pie dough. Because I'm back like that. We're gonna add our cherry filling. Now brush the edges with a little bit of water. Place this on top. And use your fingers to tightly seal the pie. You could also use a fork. And add our little cherry decoration. Now, lightly brush it with some cream. This is gonna make the pie nice and brown. Now sprinkle it with a little bit of brown sugar. And bake at 350 for about 45 minutes or until the crust has a nice deep golden color and the cherry filling is bubbling. You wanna place it on a baking sheet, this way it's easy to take out. What you want to do is let it cool for an hour, or you could scoff it right away. The choice is clear. Finally! Let's plate this dish! The juicy, sweet tart cherries, you could taste the bourbon and zest the orange. Don't get me started on this crust. No, really, I just want to enjoy this in peace for once. Today we modernized some 50s dishes and gave them the respect they didn't really deserve. We've come a long way since then, man. Civil rights, women's lib, and we should be proud that all men across this great nation finally ditched their suspender socks. Me, I'm too happy to be living in these times. Wow, happy. I'm not happy there. It's more like drunk a bit. Alla prossima!